Hey guys, how's it going? Amanda here, and welcome to the next react video for the most recent Sandersides video, which, it is, what time is it? I don't even know, right in front of me, 10:22 right now, p.m., and the episode was posted 5 hours ago. I was at work, so I wasn't able to watch it until just now. So, I have not seen anything, nothing, not even the thumbnail. I was a good girl while I was at work. The only thing I know is the title. The title is, Can Lying Be Good? That's all I know. So, you're gonna see my initial reaction to the thumbnail, and you're also gonna see my reaction to the entire episode. I'm also going to do something different than I did the last two react videos to the Sandersides. I'm actually going to pause the react video after my initial final reaction after the episode's over, because it's a 27-minute episode. Then I'm going to watch it again and give you my second thoughts. That way I can maybe theorize a little bit, because I like theorizing and reading into things that probably don't have anything actually being said. Anyway, so let's click on YouTube and see this thumbnail that I know is going to be right there as soon as I see it. And of course I have my kitty, she's back here. Her name is Dot, by the way. I know a lot of you like her. Can Lying Be Good? It's got Roman, Virgil, and Patton in it. And there's a, looks like a curtain background like theater, so we've all been theorizing this, that the next episode / arc was going to be about Roman, because with the way that the series had been going so far, we had Virgil's arc, and then we had Patton, and it was going backwards in the name reveals, which meant Roman would be next. The good thing is this is not a two-part video, so we get the entire story right here. We've also were hinted at that we might learn who the others are that were mentioned in Accepting Anxiety Part 2, which has been since last July that episode came out. So if we do meet the others, that's great. If we don't, not a big deal. But yeah, so let's go. We excited? We ready? All right, let's go. I know I'm excited.
For my next trick, I will transform myself into a very old man. The catch is that the trick takes about 60 years.
Hello, Thomas. I'm also wearing my Patton Christmas sweater. I got all four of them now. Let's do it.
What is up, everybody? Hope the year has been going well for you so far. Mine has been nice so far. Up until I messed everything up! Why? What happened? Papa's in the house. Wow, hey there, Patton. I didn't see you rise up there. What, you ask? What happened? Well,
did he rise up or did he pop in?
For lack of better words,
He was a bad friend.
would you stop saying that?
What? It's true.
The situation was incredibly complicated. There were many factors at stake. You always do this! Guys, settle down, please.
Guess who has 10 fingers and is very confused? This guy! I'm silly like that.
I'm sure that Joan was also confused when they saw that Thomas's reserved seat was empty.
Just let it go, Charlie Frown! I'm sorry I called you Charlie Frown. It's just this senseless bickering never gets us anywhere.
On the contrary, bickering amongst ourselves is historically how we've resolved all of Thomas's issues, provided you have me there to help sift through the nonsense.
Oh, good, Logan, everyone's favorite character.
Well, that's very kind of you, Patton. And to ease your apparent confusion, I will review last night's proceedings, which occurred thusly. Thomas was having another mundane evening in where he whiles away useful waking hours by consuming content he's already watched 15.5 times before.
But, have you watched The Office bloopers?
As a matter of fact, I've watched it 15.5 times because I am a part of you.
But Thomas had forgotten that just a little while ago he had told his best friend Joan that he would attend a staged reading of a play that Joan had worked so hard on. You forgot? I mean, basically...
In his downtime before the reading was to take place, Thomas was invited to hang out with this one particularly dashing fellow, which is a unique happenstance, let me tell you. And Thomas, sweet Thomas, innocently acquiesced.
Yeah.
Well, you should have no trouble at all explaining that to them.
But midway through hanging out with this dude, Thomas remembered where he was supposed to be, supporting his best friend Joan. We could have shown up during the intermission.
As you can see, my anxiety started kicking in. But my hopes and dreams had something else to say. This fella was so flippin' cute. I mean, who knows? He could have been the prince of your dreams, other than this prince of your dreams. It was worth it to stick around. And besides, you had missed the first act by that point. It was already too late. And so they continued to fight the whole rest of the night, and I never left to go and support Joan.
Looking at it objectively, so you guys can sit this one out, would Joan have wanted you in attendance for only half of the reading?
I don't know, it's just being there for the sake of supporting them. And then this morning they sent one text. Where were you last night? F-word face. Look.
I mean, what do I say? The truth is honestly so bad. Well, the only alternative to the truth is a fabrication in order to ease their concerns. Oh, that's what you're implying that we should do, isn't it? Maybe. Lying is only going to bring about more trouble, Thomas. You know this.
Then how would you describe all of the acting and performances he's ever done in his life? I mean, that was all acting in a way, and that wasn't so bad.
Jeez. Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to say
Logan, good
anything
God.
too ridiculous, but I mean, it's Joan. I just don't know how I could bring myself to lie to them. Patton, you're Thomas's morality. What do you have to say about any of this?
Well, I think there are many views on honesty that we can look at to try to help us out here. Let's look at Kant.
Whoa! Good night, everybody.
No, Immanuel Kant, K-A-N-T. He was a 19th century German philosopher who believed you should never lie, no matter what, because to lie to someone would be treating them as a means to your end rather than their own person with their own ends in mind.
Listening, Roman?
Well, there goes the acting profession. I mean, never lying at all.
Well, there's the thing.
A dilemma was presented to Kant by French philosopher Benjamin Constant. Essentially, it was, what if a known murderer came to your house asking where your friend was so they could kill him? Would you tell the truth then?
No, not Joan! Never! Joan! He seems to like his friends.
Kant's response, Yepers, you should still tell them the truth. Kant believed that you were not responsible for the actions of the murderer, and you should just keep your hands clean.
Oof.
Yeah, doesn't sound great, huh, Virg?
Wow, Patton. Referencing famous philosophers? I'm impressed.
Oh, I'm morality. I gotta know my stuff.
Impressed isn't the word I'd use.
The point is, many people think Kant is just a bit idealistic. The death of my friend is not ideal.
So you think Kant is wrong?
Yeah. Therefore, it's okay to bend the truth whenever it's appropriate.
And totally okay to violate the trust of your close friend.
Oh, don't be dramatic. That's my job. Lying could mean the best of both worlds. So Joan won't be alone because we weren't at their show.
Patton, I thought you said lying was wrong.
Well, it's all about priorities, friendo. What's more important to us? Joan's feelings or honesty? Ah, that's bordering on what's known as moral particularism. See, I know things too.
Okay, but I just don't know if I can lie to
Logan,
Joan.
gosh.
Of course you can. You simply speak as you normally would, except rather than communicating information or an idea, let me know if I lose you, you communicate a falsehood.
No, I understand that I can functionally lie. I just don't think that I can lie to Joan without feeling like a big jerk.
Maybe you just need some practice.
Joan, don't hate me!
Sorry, it's still me.
Prince Roman.
I just thought maybe we could try out lying to Joan to see how it feels.
That's great.
I mean, what the heck did we establish this whole shape-shifting thing for if we're never going to use it?
No, that's not a plan. You're not Joan. I don't know how they'd react, and I'd be lying to their face several times. That's just a punishment. Well, if you're considering lying to Joan, maybe you deserve to be punished.
Thomas has a point. If we truly are considering distorting Joan's reality as a means to our end, we might need a strategy.
Would you stop phrasing it that way?
That is literally what is happening here, Thomas. DWI.
Driving while intoxicated.
No.
Deal with it. Well, how about we work out that strategy, huh? You know, we got a good old Joan lookalike here, so all we gotta do is set the stage.
That's it. No, wait. Stage, that's it.
What's it?
All the world's a stage, Thomas. So if lying truly is no more than acting, then we shall play the part.
Lights up on Roman disguised as Joan inside your brain. I wake up and I gotta try to train my gotta lie to Jane.
Stop. Wait, Jane?
Joan didn't rhyme there.
Welcome to the Mind
Oh, that
Palace
was a
Theater,
great
Thomas,
switch.
starring me, Roman, for one night.
Joanly.
Wait, Hugh Jackman is in this?
No, his understudy's going on tonight. Who's his understudy?
Me!
Of course.
Tonight I bring you a play in
Like a
4
little
acts.
pirouette. That
Four.
was
That's
adorable.
excessive.
There will be a 15-minute intermission, or maybe just like 3 15-second ads that pop up in the middle of the video. Just go with it. But let's not forget all of the people making this possible. Logan, our stage manager / dramaturg.
The correct pronunciation is dramaturg, the researcher of the plays and operas being put on.
That's why you got the job, buddy. Also, can't forget our awesome, hard-working techie, Virgil, our utterly delightful go-between for the operation of the lights, the set, the costumes, the props, the actors, the...
So many things.
And Patton is our amazing director. What? No, I'm the actor, director, and writer. I'm basically Orson Welles. Aw, please, right? You know how I love cartoons?
Let him be director.
We need an audience, Thomas. Theater is literally not theater without an audience to laugh when I say something funny and clap when I do something awesome.
You know he'll still do those things? Come on.
Fine, Patton, you're the director. Yay!
Oh,
Act 1. I'm not even on the stage yet. I'm not even on the stage.
Thomas! It's Mother's Day, and I'm wondering where my little gift cutie oopsie poopsie pants. Emphasis on the oopsie because you were a mistake.
I have several questions here. Are you my mummy?
Doctor Who reference?
Fantastic.
Why are you playing her like that? You know my mom. You know her.
It's a hypothetical scenario, Thomas. Just go along with it.
Fine.
Thomas, did you give me a gift for my third favorite holiday? My first being Groundhog Day, my second being my birthday.
Did I get her a gift? No, I didn't.
What?
Sorry.
You don't love me?
No,
Shut up! You were mistaken. I hereby disown you as my son.
End scene. Roman, that was a beautiful portrayal of a mother betrayed by her son. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much. I was afraid I went a little too method with it. No, it was perfect. Thomas, I didn't love your approach to the character. I mean, that sure could have gone better, huh, guys? Yeah. Okay, but that's not actually what would happen. Oh, I'm sorry, Thomas. Do you know how any and all future events will play out should they come to pass? Well, obviously, I don't, but Logan, does Thomas have that information? No, he doesn't. Didn't think so. All right, let's run it again from the top with more feeling this time.
I thought Patton was the director.
Right. Patton, could you tell us to run it again from the top with more feeling this time? Oh, sure. Let's run it again from the top.
Oh, how I adore Mother's Day. It's the finest day in May. Oh, my beautiful son, I didn't see you there. Have you come bearing Mother's Day gifts?
Oh, darn. I was on my way here to get you your gift, but it got lost.
Oh, goodness, how?
A homeless lady, ate it.
What?
Why?
I left it on a free food counter like a doofus, and she mistook it for a free food sample and ate it.
Oh, poor thing. Was she hungry?
Very hungry. That's why I bought her lunch. We exchanged information, and she told me she would call me on a payphone when the gift later resurfaces.
What the?
Oh, no, thank you then. I don't want it anymore. But it's the thought that counts. I love you.
And scene. Brilliant.
Really?
Logan, can you tell us more about that scene? That was a series of lies of commission, which is when the liar tells the subject an unmitigated falsehood, presenting fiction as fact. Fiction? Like a heartwarming fairy tale. Sure, and even if your mom still wanted the gift, you at the very least bought yourself some time. And beyond that, you made yourself out to be an altruist. Yeah, except if we go that route, we should make a point to actually feed the homeless later. Totally. And most importantly, you spared your mom's feelings. Silver lining.
But what if the mom finds out that he lied?
Well, based on Roman's characterization, it's likely that some sort of betrayal-motivated disownment would take place. What? Act 2!
Gosh darn it, Sanders, where were you for your Sunday shift?
What's going on here?
I'm your boss.
No, I mean, like, what is the scene? What is happening? You lied to get off work this past Sunday. Wait, I already lied? I don't have a choice in the matter?
No, that's in the past.
You did it because your boyfriend really wanted to spend the day with you. Boyfriend? What boyfriend? How many lies are we telling here? Action! That's not just for movies.
Sanders, where were you on Sunday? We were slammed because you weren't there. I'm gonna start calling you Thomas Slanders.
Boo. Hey, Mr. Doo-Doo Face McGee, which is your actual legal surname.
No.
Yes, and I should really come clean. My boyfriend wanted to spend more time with me, so I lied in order to have a free day to share with him.
What? You're lazy and you're gay? You're fired!
Scene. What the heck was that? You don't know if your boss is a homophobe? I would have wanted to work there anyway. If he hadn't fired me, I would have quit. Noted. Let's run it again, except this time the boss isn't a homophobe. Not a homophobe? Awesome. And Thomas, try not to get fired.
Where were you on Sunday, Thomas? You better have a good excuse or I'll fire you.
I have to know how hard this was
Mr.
to
Doo-Doo
record.
Face, I have worked here at this job selling Hot Topic merch.
No.
Yes, and
Nice.
for 4 years
course
now.
Virgil had to say
You know
something.
that if I miss a day of work, it's probably for a valid reason.
Good for you, Sanders. Looks like you finally grew a spine. I suppose you're right. Just don't make a habit out of it. Like your weird habit of gluing your butt cheeks together.
What?
Yes, Sam!
Scene. Oh, well done. I mean, I almost lost character because the lights were too bright.
I can only be so many places at once, dude.
Dramaturg, any notes? Thomas, that technique you used right there was called a character lie. It is the act of covering up a truth by talking about oneself in order to throw off suspicion. By relying solely on your reputation, you completely evaded the matter at hand.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Would you like to say anything, Patton? High marks here. You all are really putting on a show. Act 3. Why?
Oh! No effing way, dude! Who broke this vase? Who broke this vase?
Seriously, guys, everyone who's here at my awesome party
this huge crowd of people that's definitely here right now. Somebody broke my grandma's vase, and that was the last thing she gave to me before she died. I swear to all things football and or skateboarding that I will find you. Don't make me cry these incredibly manly tears. Anyone can speak up here and be a part of the scene, especially those of us who aren't imagined and are actually here on the stage, like not the people who are imagined to be
Virgil,
here
oh
through
God.
means of suspension of disbelief.
I do not understand theater.
Very well, I shall continue searching for the culprit in the next room. Stephanie, you want to bake some cookies?
And scene. Thomas, what was that? I was giving you acting gold, and you were giving me nothing. Was it because I didn't use the red solo cup? I mean, I thought it was cliche, but if it took you out of the moment...
Actually, that was an acceptable version of what is known as a lie of omission, withholding important information that would help to elucidate the truth.
But he didn't say anything. Lies of omission are like, I'm going to say some things, I'm going to leave something out. Say some things, leave something out.
Well, anything may have been important information, so technically that's what he did. Ergo, valid technique. Interesting. Something wrong?
I don't know. It's just, you know, maybe some of the scene play is making me feel a little icky. I thought you were fine with all of this. I am. I'm thinking about Patton. All of this definitely has to be a little bit strenuous on him. Isn't that right, Patton? All right, guys, it all comes down to this. You've put on one heart-stopping act after another. Now, wow me in this fourth act. I know. This one should be a piece of cake.
Mr. Thomas, where do babies come from?
Whoa! No. We are not doing this one.
What? Adults do this all the time.
We are not going there. No. Yeah, everyone knows where babies come from. Messenger falcons. Well, all right. Okay, I wasn't feeling in character anyway because I don't have my sippy cup. Where is my sippy cup, Ted?
It was on the prop table. Did you move it?
No, I did not move it. I have been acting this whole time. When would I have had time to move it?
Verge, hurry, stall for time.
What is happening back there?
It was in the green room. What was it doing in there?
Oh, that's right. I did move it. I'm so silly. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, where is my pet hamster?
Oh, no, it's not. Oh, great. Okay, well, little Ed.
That's my name, don't worry it out.
Oh, okay. Your hamster.
Yes, what happened to my cute, fluffy, impossible not to love, only friend in the world who also happens to be my pet hamster, Sir Squiggles the Brave?
Jeez, Squiggles, went away to, a lovely little hamster hotel.
Why?
Ooh, because, he didn't feel the same way about you.
What?
Okay, let's stop there. Thomas, let's try not to make the child cry.
But this is like really sad, and I'm such a sucker for like Joan's little pouty face.
Try something other than a lie of commission.
Wouldn't that have just been like a white lie?
And go again. Look, Ed, you know me. I'm your, like, what? I don't know, brother?
Who he calls Mr. Thomas. I don't.
Would I let anything bad happen to your hamster?
So where is he?
You know me. And stopping again. Okay, Thomas, I didn't believe any of that.
Character lies are hard to implement in this situation. It really isn't simple, Patton.
Let's try it from the top again.
Will you please tell me what happened to my furry, squishy, beautiful, fragile, but dear companion, Sir Squiggles? The Brave?
And scene. I'm sorry. That scenario should have been a little bit easier for me to lie so I could protect the kid, but this is all just making me feel really weird. Sadly, I have to agree. This whole night has been a fiasco. It's curtains, for sure.
Curtains?
No, I didn't. Oh, come on. Whatever. Fine. End it now.
Well, all's well that ends well, I suppose.
That did not end well.
Could you, not rub it in? Because sure, I'll admit it, it did not end well.
I thought it went well.
You did?
Well, I really don't know. Every theatrical performance is the same to me. Whether it's The Lion King or The Wiz,
You can consider me one of les muses.
You're attacking theater, but that was a strong couplet.
Thank you.
I have to know, was that trochaic octameter?
I am Big Pentameter.
Classic. Come on, guys, let's not give up now.
When they nerd together,
Thomas,
that's a
you
great
don't want to
moment.
make Joan mad at you, do you?
No, I don't. But I feel like I would be mad or disappointed in myself if I were to lie to them about this. You won't if it's done correctly, right, Roman?
I don't know.
I think Thomas is right. When people go to see a show, they know that it's just a show.
Yes, whenever a person purchases a ticket to a show, there's an unspoken agreement between that person and the showrunners that what they're seeing isn't actually happening before them. For example, Ian McKellen didn't actually die at the end of Macbeth.
Thank goodness. Oh my goodness, that man, He shall not pass. Virgil, buddy, I know you weren't too keen on it at first, but come on, could you stand to lose the support of one of Thomas's friends?
Well, yeah, Thomas's friends make me feel more at ease, but Thomas lying would make me just as uneasy. And anyone who doesn't understand that should just shut up.
Whoa now. Virgil, it's me. Aren't we friends?
I'm not so sure we are.
Thomas, I know this sounds backwards, but sometimes lying is good.
But you've said before that...
I know what I said. It doesn't matter. In this situation, it is the right thing to do,
He's willing
period.
to lie because he doesn't
no.
want to lose
Yes!
Virgil.
You're wrong on this one, buddy. I think what I need to do is accept the true course of action. If I've made a mistake,
That makes me sad.
it's better for me to own up to it. I'm thankful that you all helped to guide me through these other options because it helped me to arrive at this conclusion. I need to tell the truth here. And it might hurt to do that. But whatever happens, happens.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, Thomas.
You're so mature. Thank you. I knew something smelled fishy here.
I also smell it. I told Thomas to take the trash out.
No, it does smell bad, but I was talking about Patton.
Oh, you mean how he's clearly...
Oh, I get it now.
I don't. What is happening?
You have to give us permission first.
There are sides to everyone that they'd prefer not to know about. But you're the boss, Thomas. Any information you want to know, you can know. You just have to be open to hearing it.
In other words, would you like to learn something new about yourself, Thomas?
I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know either, Thomas. You might not like what you find. Fine, tell me. Deceit! What?
Deceit?
Who's she? Never heard of her.
Oh, I hate this guy and his creepy snake face. However, he is very kind.
Love the new outfit, Roman.
Thank you.
And Virgil, I adore the more intense eyeshadow. It totally doesn't make you look like a raccoon.
Nice gloves. Did you just finish washing some dishes?
Yes.
Why didn't I know about him until now?
He had you convinced you're an honest person.
But I am an honest person.
Oh, you are, Thomas. You are a good person. Everybody says so.
Nobody's a completely honest person.
I try to be.
That's a more honest statement. Given all the variations of dishonesty, lies of omission, lies of commission, etc., lies can be fairly difficult to avoid. According to Pamela Meyer, author of Lie Spotting, on any given day, you may be lied to between 10 to 200 times. She's also stated that strangers lie 3 times within the first 10 minutes of meeting each other. An average unmarried couple lies to one another in 1 out of every 3 interactions. Very few people are always honest 100% of the time. They're a very rare breed. So what, he made me think I'm a completely honest person so I didn't know he existed? You place distance between
just now
who
noticed
you
his
are
shirt changed.
and the lies that you tell. He is responsible for your doing so.
Why didn't you guys tell me?
If you really don't want to know something, he can keep our mouths shut.
I can't believe that I fooled myself like that.
You don't want to believe it. That's where his power comes from. Things that you want to believe. Things that you wish were true. And things that you wish weren't.
What you don't know can't hurt you.
Falsehood. Knowledge is an incomparably valuable multi-purpose tool that is instrumental in identifying and solving any problem. If you're worried about getting hurt, then seek knowledge. It is our greatest weapon and our greatest defense.
Wow, Logan, that's
Oh, his shirt changed back.
really lovely. And speaking of seeking knowledge,
Where is Patton? How dare you stand where he stood?
Harry Potter.
You foolish dummy. I am and always have been Patton. What?
no,
You have no morality.
he's lying.
Sorry to break it to you, but...
Ow! Oh my
Ow.
head.
Oh, that hurt.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't hurt me at all.
Ow! Hey!
You're in my spot.
Patton!
Well, this all went
Oh,
according to plan.
Surely it didn't.
Get out of here, Jack the Fibber.
All right. But you've seen the last of me.
Bye. Patton, I'm so glad that you're back.
So glad that my back is what? Finish your sentences, Thomas.
Wait, how do we know this is the real Patton?
Maybe this is another one of Deceit's tricks. Enough twists.
Yeah, quick, how do you feel about lying? It's wrong.
Exactly what Deceit would say.
With some rare exceptions. Someone once posed a dilemma to Plato. What if a known murderer came to your house and...
Yep, we've already been over this.
Yes, and that was Kant. Whoa, good night, everybody.
No.
Immanuel Kant, K-A-N-T.
Wow, I can't believe you're doubting me on this. I know my Play-Doh. I've been eating it since I was like 5.
Eating Play-Doh.
Oh goodness, are you talking about the non-toxic modeling compound? Is there any other kind?
That's for playing, not eating.
Mama told me to never play with my food. Definitely Patton.
I'm still reeling from all of this.
I'm surprised I wasn't summoned earlier. I mean, here y'all are having a
It was
big old
never
tea
patent to
party
begin with.
Well, I thought you were here all
Oh
along.
my god.
Guys,
It was never patent to begin with.
Deceit told me that I was a good person. Does that mean I was lying to myself? Am I actually a bad person?
You know, kiddo, I don't think you are. I think maybe in that moment you honestly believed you were a bad person.
But belief doesn't always translate to reality. Thanks, guys. Also, the concepts of good and bad are arguably meaningless because we can assign any preferred characteristics to either. Not a good time, Logan.
Okay, so... Oh, and you decided to tell the truth even before Deceit was unmasked like a friggin' Scooby-Doo villain.
Guess that was the real patent shining through.
Shining through, but I'm not a son, I'm a dad.
Maybe Deceit wasn't so bad.
Kiddo, simply put, Deceit is an inner coach that acts with the one intention of self-preservation.
Well, this time around, I'm gonna tune out that inner coach and set things right. But before I do, one more question. Are there any other sides that Deceit has hidden away from me?
Yes.
The dark sides. Well, that's not the answer that I wanted, in full honesty.
I made that name up. It's pretty cool, right?
Nice and foreboding, thank you.
Well, best of luck with Joan, or as they say in the theater, fracture a femur.
What?
The actual saying is break a leg, but I improved it.
I hate both of those equally.
Well, Patton never strayed too far. Deceit really had me doing his bidding today. Playing into my love of theater and my love of getting what I want. Oh, I feel so used. Oh, I'll always be here, Roman, but even so, you enjoy those knights and fantastic heroes, don't you? Oh, do I? Well, what would they do?
Face any and every challenge with courage and honesty.
That's the spirit, sorta. You got this, kiddo.
Both of you.
And Roman, I need my Tupperware back.
So, Thomas?
Despite the circumstances, it was fun acting alongside you. We should do it again sometime, with less plots of deception.
Sounds like a plan, Roman.
On to valiantly and honestly achieving our dreams.
I hope in some way this provided a better understanding as to the different ways that we lie and how that may affect those around us. There are clearly many different perspectives on how it affects others, but when it comes to what we choose to say or what we choose not to say, it's good to remain conscientious of our actions. Pretending that we're not flawed is irresponsible. By recognizing and working on our flaws, we're taking the best steps forward to being more true and honest with ourselves. Until next time, take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Peace out. Hey, Joan?
Hey, dude.
About last night,
I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. I didn't remember until midway through this outing I was at, and...
Oh, yeah, it's Joe.
really? But it was a one-night show you had, and...
Yeah, it was just a reading.
But the text sounded so serious.
I literally typed out F-word face. Is that serious in your world? Is that a serious person thing?
Oh, well, I clearly misinterpreted the tone.
No, but seriously, it's totally okay. I just hope you didn't do that thing that you do sometimes where you freak out and stand in the middle of your living room and talk to yourself for 20 minutes.
No, I did not do that. You know what? Yes, I did.
Oh, shoot.
Well, since I'm here, I might as well present to you a couple musical puns based all around deceit, lies and dolls, Lion King, Fibber on the Roof, Fibbin', Jekyll and Hyde, totally not partial to that one, Forgery 2nd Street, Willy Wonka and the Alternative Factory, Damn Yankin' Your Cheneys, The Fraud Couple, Full of Chicago, Lie Lie Birdie, Miss Lie Gone, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Lying, The Untruthers, The Producers. I think that was my strongest one. That was fun. This was a fun video. I'm so glad I did this.
Okay, holy, okay. Dishonesty. That's something that was brought up, shortly after, I want to say, in Moving On Part 2, there's a scene where Roman wants to lie to Thomas's ex, and and Patton says, "Now, Roman, lying is wrong." And then it goes to Thomas, and he says, "Yeah, lying's a side I'd rather not feed into." And a lot of us, fanders, latched on to him saying side there. Guess we were kind of right, because I'm fairly certain I've seen somebody on Tumblr say dishonesty as a side. And that was definitely unique. I don't know. I have a lot of emotions about it. I like the costume for dishonesty, or what, I don't know what else they called him. I latched on to dishonesty, but I don't know if that was actually his name. I like his design. It's kind of crazy because it's kind of like the hat and the cape and the partial snake face, like the Two-Face kind of thing. That was pretty interesting. Definitely played into his... The Two-Face played in, like, at the very beginning because of Thomas's shirt. His shirt had the half skull, half flower motif on it, so that definitely played in there. The one scene that keeps striking out to me is when Patton decides that it's okay to lie, and Virgil takes back being his best friend. That hit me. That wasn't good. And it was shortly after that. I'm just going to watch it again. So I'm going to watch it again real quick, and then I'm going to give you more feelings on it. Get a little bit more through. One thing I will say, because I'm going to talk more about after they finish the theater stuff, where dishonesty comes in the second half after I watch it again. The first stuff with Joan. Joan is amazing. Like, that was so great. They did such a great job portraying, and the editing that went in this one and the clips that were taken were just so good. The quick from between Joan to Roman to Thomas. I mean, it was just really good. Like, the editing was spot on, going back and forth between them. That was really, really good. I was really happy. I like that Roman, like, isn't too, like, crazy good at acting. Like, he does overact a lot, which would make sense because he's pure creativity. He doesn't have what Thomas has in terms of having the logic and morality. He's not the full person, so he does tend to overact, and I think that's actually kind of cool. So, alright guys, I will be right back. I'm going to watch the episode one more time, and I will give you more thoughts on the part with dishonesty. BRB. Hey guys, Amanda here, and it's been a little bit than, like, the 3 minutes I said, because I'm now a prince. Reppin' Rowan for this part of the video. It's actually been a couple days since the episode came out, and what you just watched me react to. There's a reason for that. One, I honestly felt that this episode was just so heavy that I really needed to, like, watch and even see other people's theories. And before giving my own full thoughts. So I actually went archaic and I wrote everything down because, like, who writes notes anymore? But I do have a lot of things I want to talk to you guys about, and I have some theories that came from Tumblr, and I am going to give those users credit, so their name will be right here, and I'll give a link to their Tumblr down in the description below. I just really, really, really love this episode, and there's a lot of theories going around, and I have to give my own thoughts. So here we go. First thing I want to talk about is Thomas's shirt throughout the entire episode, with the skull, which we know from Joan on Tumblr that was actually Thomas's idea, which is a fantastically brilliant idea all the way around. But pretty much from the most half of the episode, Thomas's shirt is half and half, which not only plays into Deceit's appearance later on with him being half human face, half snake face, it also changes throughout the entire episode. It changes the first time when Deceit shows up. It goes from being half and half to being all skull immediately, right after Deceit's there. Right around the time I think Deceit's music starts playing, which is top-notch, beautiful music. I really, really like the music. And then, once it goes back to Logan, and Logan totally schools Deceit in a knowledge rant, which is so Ravenclaw of him, it turns back into the full flower motif. It turns back into the full flower motif, which, such a good thing. And then it goes back full skull again when Deceit lies to Thomas saying that Pattons never actually existed, which is obviously false. We know that not to be true, but Thomas believes him. So for a split second, it turns back into the skull again. But then we have Patton actually try to rise up, and of course he runs into Deceit, which actually causes a funny little scene, which I'll mention later. But anyway, so I just wanted to mention that because it plays a part at the beginning, and we're going to go through this like in order from the beginning of the episode all the way through, so stay tuned. All right. Next, something I did not notice that was pointed out to me by my friend Maxie. Patton at the very beginning and throughout the entire thing, Patton was wearing the cardigan. I guess I'm so used to the cardigan still, like while the hoodie's still something new because it was only from Moving On Part 2. I did not notice at all that Patton was only wearing his cardigan. It wasn't the cat hoodie. So that, I don't know how I missed that. That blows my mind now, going back and rewatching it. There's a lot of things that blow my mind going back and rewatching this episode multiple times. Check my notes, what's that? Oh, next thing that I noticed, that really hit me was the very beginning when Patton doesn't necessarily pop in like Virgil, because with Virgil, there's not only a sound, but there's a slight hint of showing a little clip right before he pops in of just the staircase. There's like a small hint there. With Patton / Deceit, it was like he was already standing there. Like he didn't pop in, he was already there. Which makes me wonder something. Was Deceit already there because Thomas was already considering lying to Joan? And so Deceit was there, he just materialized himself at that moment to look like Patton? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Because it doesn't ever have that frame. Like they turn to Deceit Patton and it's just, he's just there. There's no pop in, like there's no like sudden second, like I looked. There's no second there of Deceit Patton popping in like the way Virgil does. There's obviously no rising up because Thomas himself says that. I just have a lot of theories about Deceit already being there because Thomas was considering lying to Joan. Anyway, moving on. Next thing is Patton's tearing apart Logan, which really hurts me rewatching this. Because obviously this is not Patton, this is Deceit Patton. And he compliments Logan by saying, Logan, everybody's favorite character, which at first I thought was adorable because Patton is the kind of person to try to cheer someone up like that. Even if it is kind of a little white lie, he does love the other side. Like, they are his family. So him boosting up Logan like that, I feel like it's something he would actually do. But then to turn around and also just, it's so hard to put into words, but like, it's kind of like he immediately turns it around on his head after giving Logan something to like boost his self-confidence, I guess, and like he is important, he is liked. He immediately kind of tears that away from him by taking his usual role, which comes to the knowledge that Deceit brings us in Immanuel Kant's philosophies on lying. And I feel like I was actually kind of sad that this ended up being Deceit and not Patton, because I want Patton to be a little bit smarter. I wish that he had been able to talk more about that, and I just wish that knowledge had belonged to Patton. I want to believe that Patton does know. Like, I mean, because he does at the end of the episode say something. Oh, he gets it messed up. He says Plato instead of Immanuel Kant. But I would like to believe that Patton actually does know this information. He just is really bad at explaining it. Because I feel like all of them should have general knowledge about what they represent, about what they are. Even though overall knowledge belongs to Logan. Which, what I was saying is, Deceit Patton overshadowing Logan and taking his usual role right after building him up as some important character. Like, talk about being a jerk. Like, okay. Anyway, and then Virgil's reactions. This kind of broadens the entire video. But Virgil's reactions to Patton throughout the entire episode is something I wish I had noticed as I was watching, but upon rewatches is fairly obvious. He reacts every time Patton says something. Deceit Patton. every single time Patton opens his mouth or says anything, he kind of gets this really weird look on his face, or he raises his eyebrow, or he's just like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, he doesn't verbally say anything, which makes me think of something else. Turning the paper in my notes. One thing that I noticed upon rewatching and considering was Virgil has once before felt off about something, and he couldn't explain why, or he didn't want to explain why. And he was only met with unfortunately, like, anger. In the Changes episode, when Thomas is feeling upset about his future and not wanting to lose his friends, Virgil is also afraid of losing Thomas's friends because they make him feel at ease. And he doesn't want to admit that, so he just says something is wrong. And of course, Thomas immediately says back to him, I hate it when you're just vague. I feel like Virgil kept his mouth shut for most of this episode because he was afraid of doing that again. He was afraid of not knowing what was wrong and being met again with that, I hate it when you're just vague. Like, why can't you just tell me what you think is wrong? Because he wasn't sure. I could be wrong at that, but I do feel like that's a very interesting interpretation of that scene. So, there's that. Next thing. Oh, DWI with Logan and the cards. I'm so glad his flashcards are back. Those are freaking... And the fact that he looks at it like he wrote the definition on the back like you do in school. when you're like trying to learn the definition of a word for a test or something, and you have the word on the front and then what it actually means on the back, and you kind of look at it to make sure you know what it is. He does that. He glances down at the card for a second. I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. Now we jump to the Mind Palace Theater, which I think is actually pretty neat. The position of the characters in this, in terms of what they're doing, is very interesting and definitely shows Deceit's control over this entire situation. Because Deceit knows that Roman will fall for his compliments. He knows this. He's probably been doing it forever. So he knows that if Roman takes control of the acting part, Deceit can play him like a fiddle and make him do whatever he wants. So he falls into this category of getting exactly what he wants. He gets Virgil out of the way by being in the background, not where he can say much. He has too much to do to say anything. He gets Logan to be the dramaturg, which makes him feel important again. Distracts him enough by giving him a job where it makes him have to talk about knowledge a lot and talk about the different types of lies and everything. And I do feel bad for Virgil, by the way. So many things to do. I've never been in theater. I always thought acting was like way too hard. And props to Joan and Thomas in this episode, speaking of, because there's a lot. There's a lot in this episode. But anyway, so also, speaking of the roles, Patton, like, wanting to be the director. Patton, I don't know why that didn't occur to me while I was watching it. Patton would not try to steal that from Roman. That's so stupid. Like, he would not do that. Why did I not think of that? It's so dumb. But not to mention the changing into dark clothing. Well, why did he change clothes? Yeah, my initial reaction was, oh, that's adorable, because it is. I think it's his Watson scarf, because that's what it looks like. And then just a shirt, but like, is that a hint of that there's a dark person in you right now? Like, is that what we're going for? Like, I don't know. It was just really, really bizarre. One thing I did notice that was pointed out to me by a user on Tumblr who I cannot find. I used the search engine so much it started crashing on my phone. But there's a user who pointed out that at the part where Patton pleads with Roman to be the director, he kind of does this motion and looks at his hand. And I'm like, is he peeking to look at notes on his hand? I did not notice that. Didn't notice it at all. Crazy. There are just so many parts in the theater part that there's just so much to discuss. So I'm actually going to look at my notes. Okay, so number one thing I want to mention is Patton uses the word altruist, which none of them kind of say anything about, which I thought was kind of weird because that's a pretty big word. But pretty much the actual Oxford Dictionary definition of that word is a person unselfishly concerned for or devoted to the welfare of others, opposite of an egoist. This was pointed out by Virgil's journey on Tumblr that I actually think is very interesting, and is the way in which Deceit says this. In the actual scene where he says the word altruist through Patton, he says, make yourself out to be an altruist, not actually being an altruist. Which is very important, that terminology, because Deceit doesn't care what Thomas really is. He cares about how Thomas is perceived to be, which obviously makes him 100% freaking evil, because he doesn't care about what Thomas actually does. He cares about how Thomas is seen by others. So there is that. The next thing is, I never really paid it. I don't know why I didn't like say anything. You can see in my reaction video, like through most of the parts of the theater performances, I'm just kind of like this with my hand over my mouth. I'm really thinking, and I should have spoken out loud because that's the whole point of a react video, but Patton has so much control over the situation, and it never really like occurred to me until like my second or third watch through. I've watched it about 10 times now, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like he had the whole thing planned out so well. He had Virgil distracted, he had Logan distracted, he had Roman and Thomas distracted, but just the acting stuff in general, and I felt so bad because there's one part in which Roman says something about Patton, and then Patton says that everything's actually okay, 3 stars or something like that. And it cuts to Virgil for a second and his eyebrow raises. I consider that to be the first time Virgil's like, now I am certain something is up with him. Not to mention Roman later saying, all this lying must make making me feel icky. Gosh, I can only imagine how it's making Patton feel. And of course, to see Patton's like, you guys have been so awesome throughout this entire thing. Let's go with the 4th act. I'm like, why? That's so obvious. Like, and then the 4th act on top of that is about death and about lying to a child about a pet dying. And that motion that Deceit makes Patton would not, he would be a sobbing mess if it was about an animal dying. Are you kidding me? He's such a pure-hearted character, like there ain't no way. The things you notice after the fact, it's just like, like, not to mention, I'll point this out, what's the user's name? Logically Irrational on Tumblr had this awesome screenshot. They were the first user I saw that pointed this screenshot out to me. It doesn't mean they were the first person who did it, period, but I noticed it from their post, was this screenshot of Patton as, well, Deceit as Patton while watching, I want to say it's the lying about being with your boyfriend. I think that lie, and that is so. I mean, you blink and you miss this because it's not really that long of a like when I first saw the image, I was like, what part was that in? And then I go back and watch it. I'm like, oh, it passes by pretty quickly, but you can tell by looking at this photo that is not. That's not Patton. That's so not Patton. It's so obvious in this photo that that's not Patton. But I thought that photo was pretty interesting to look at because I'm like, how dare you look that cute in his body, you jerk. I don't like Deceit very much. He's an amazing character, like, interestingly, but, like, as a character, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. I'm not a fan. Okay, so let me look at my notes again for the next thing I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Okay, yes, so let's say they all return to Thomas's apartment, and Roman and Thomas have a little bit of a moment here, hinting at more Roman angst for a later episode, possibly, because, Roman comes back, and he's trying to be positive, and he says, all's well that ends well, right? And Thomas immediately is like, that did not go well. And Roman's just like, can you not? Because sure, it didn't go well. And that, I think, is one of the very first times we ever have a scene where Roman is actually mad. Not like the temper tantrum he threw in the Christmas episode, or any time that he got mad that's kind of like a bratty kind of mad. He actually looks genuinely pissed off. He genuinely looks mad at Thomas, like, thanks for making me feel like a piece of crap. I really appreciate that. Hinting at more Roman angst. I swear, they're gonna keep doing it, and it's just gonna keep happening. Okay, we're on the last page of my notes. It's been going on forever. Okay, The part where Roman and Logan nerd out over the poem that of the theater, like diss / poem, that was great. Something else I noticed that was pointed out by a lot of people on Tumblr that I didn't pay attention. Patton never says kiddo the entire time. He says friendo, buddy, their names. Never says kiddo. That should have been right there an obvious thing. You are not Patton. Like, I mean, come on. Let's see. My next note. Okay. A lot of people have a theory as to why Logan was silenced by Deceit once he lets down his facade, and the other two are not, and they're allowed to talk. I have two theories on that. One is that Logan is knowledge. He can only speak in truths. So it's obvious that Deceit would silence him because there's no way he can say anything else other than, hey, that's Deceit. However, the others can choose their words more carefully and not blatantly say, hey, that's not a guy you want to know. So they kind of pick their words carefully. They don't say the others. They don't say Deceit's name. They don't say anything like that could particularly give it away. Until Thomas is like, fine, I want to know. And Logan's hand, when it goes flying off his mouth, it's almost like he was pulling at it the entire time. And as soon as Thomas said, I want to know, that was like the unlock of the chain on his mouth. And it flew off because he's been trying to say it the entire time. Very awesome attention to detail on that. That is brilliant. And also poor Roman with Deceit, like complimenting his outfit. Obviously Deceit doesn't like it because he speaks and lies, and yet Roman's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, oh god, I'm Logan in that scene because Roman, honey, I'm working on your cosplay and your outfit's beautiful. Don't ever think it's not, okay? It's beautiful. I'm not Deceit. I don't lie. And of course, Logan's logic, knowledge rant. He's such a Ravenclaw. That scene is beautiful. And the fact that Thomas's shirt turns flowery after Logan's, he's so devoted to his position in Thomas's life. And the fact that Thomas was so inspired and he was so happy to hear that it changed the shirt. That really says something when it changed it. I don't know. I'm emotional. I love Logan. So that was another A+ scene. Like the rest of this freaking episode. Let's see. Oh, the when Thomas turns to Deceit and he says, speaking of knowledge, where is Patton? Roman's next line, how dare you stand where he stood? I will never, thank you, Thomas, Joan, Talyn, whose ever idea that was to put that in this. I will never see that scene from Harry Potter the same ever again. Thanks. Honestly, I don't care. That's freaking hilarious. I laughed, so, I mean, it was funny. I like the slight accent Roman took there. It was pretty good. And then, oh my gosh. Patton is so loved. And he's so pure. Like, okay, so he pops up next to Deceit. Thomas is so happy to see him, that the arm stretched out, the reaction, Virgil's reaction to him coming back, that small little smile, melts my heart. And then Patton is so pure. Like, I really don't understand, like, what a pure child. Because Deceit's standing there, he passively aggressively is like, you're in my spot. Doesn't tell him to move, doesn't tell him to get away. He's too nice. Patton's too nice. He would never tell Deceit to leave. And then when he does, Deceit does leave because Roman's like, get out of here, Jack the Fibber. He, Deceit sinks down and Patton just, bye. That was so cute. Like, I don't know. That he's so, just protect that sunshine child because he is too pure for this world. He's too pure for this world. And then there's one scene that I didn't notice at first, pointed out again by a Tumblr user, same user I mentioned earlier, Virgil's Journey. The part where Thomas asks if there are any other sides that Deceit has hidden away. Patton kind of takes his hand down from his mouth and says, yes. As if he expected to be silenced. It was pointed out. It's a pretty nice touch because you would think that he would be silenced. He's probably used to being silenced. Considering that kind of flashes back to Accepting Anxiety Part 2, whenever Roman says to Virgil, now you are nothing compared to the others. And his hand gets slapped over his mouth and he kind of looks around like... And then they all, like, immediately drop it. Because Thomas is like, what was that? And Roman's like, it's nothing. So long. Farewell. Avita, say goodnight. Like, they all three immediately drop it. And Virgil's like, worry about it later, dude. Just worry about it later. I don't know. Something... And upon saying that, this is how my brain works. I just considered something. So, in that scene, Accepting Anxiety Part 2, Virgil's like, I know I'm the one causing you to feel anxious, but table that question for another day. Talking about the others. Is that because Virgil knew deceit the entire time? I'm theorizing while I'm talking. I don't... Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. And then, overall, my opinions on Deceit are as follows. He is an interesting character. I don't particularly like him because of what he represents. I mean, Deceit is not something we all want to live with. We don't want to live with the idea that we lie that much. Like, Logan's part in the episode when he talks about how often somebody lies, that kind of hit home for me, because I'm like, I do white lie a lot. And it's really bad. And I've lied to friends, not about anything really serious, but I mean, even white lies can be hurtful. I mean, gosh, this episode was all about Thomas's mind pretty much overstating a very small situation that was only made worse because he wanted to lie about it. The situation actually wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously Joan was just not too worried about it, so why was he? Well, we all kind of take that stuff out of proportion sometimes. So while I like Deceit as a character, I don't particularly like him that much. He is a jerk. He is a horrible, horrible person because his version of self-preservation is completely egotistical, not fully self-preservation. Which brings me into something else. I read this a lot on Tumblr and I thought I'd give my thoughts on it. Is Virgil a dark side? Yes and no. I want to say that he's that middle ground. Let me explain. Virgil is anxiety. Anxiety is not something we humans can live without. Yes, we need it in smaller doses, aka referencing the Yerkes-Dodson chart from Accepting Anxiety Part 2. We need anxiety to at least get up and move and do things to protect ourselves. What we call our fight or flight reflex is a part of anxiety. It protects us from harm. Yes, there are times in situations in certain people where anxiety is higher or lower, but I feel like we need anxiety in small doses. And it is unfortunate that there are a lot of people in this world whose anxiety is way too high and it causes them to be unable to do things. But I feel like working together, most of us, the way Thomas says, with our anxiety, we can make it better. We can get better. And there's always a way to get better with our own anxiety. However, our deceit and our manipulation of people is not something we need to live with. And I feel like that's why Virgil is not a dark side and he's not a light side. In using Roman's case of the dark sides. Virgil is not either. But in Thomas's unique case, Virgil is a good side. He is a light side. He could have been either one. He was like on that bridge in between the good sides being on one and the dark sides being on another. And he chose to come to the good side because he could see the good benefits, and Thomas was willing to work with him to see the good things that Virgil does bring. Because as anxiety, it does bring both good things and bad. It's up to us to make the decision of whether or not we're going to work with our own anxiety or if we're going to not work with our anxiety, with medication or not. So that's my opinion. I don't think Virgil is a dark side. Do him and Deceit have similarities? Well, yes. Do I think Virgil possibly has some characteristics of a dark side? Yes. Could I be completely wrong and he could be a dark side and we might find that out in a future episode? Who knows? Not me, because I'm not Thomas or Joan or Talyn or anybody else that comes up with ideas for the standardized videos with Thomas, so I could be completely wrong. But either way, guys, this has gone on long enough. This episode's going to be an hour long. If you stay this long, I love you. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I love you. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on Can Lying Be Good? The most recent Sandersides video from Thomas Sanders, Joan, Talyn, and all of the crew that work with Thomas to create these amazing, amazing episodes that I'm able to talk about and analyze for hours. And I've made so many friends in this community. I really, really appreciate you guys watching my React videos. I know a lot of you have been commenting on my old Reacts saying, hey, you're going to react to the new Sandersides video? Well, there you go. Hopefully you watched it all and you enjoyed it, because I really, really love this episode. I'm going to watch it 100,000 times and probably notice a lot more things that I did not say in this. But overall, this episode was awesome. I can't wait for the next one, as always, because the series is just so addicting. It's written so well for being just a YouTube series. Like, Thomas and his friends need, like, an actual YouTube Red deal. Like, can you imagine, like, the quality of the Sandersides if we had YouTube Red? Like, I mean, Thomas and his friends are already absolutely fantastically amazing editors and creators and writers. Can you imagine how they would be with, you know, even higher tech than what they have now? Mind blown. Like, it would be so amazing. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next Sandersides React video, or if I ever upload another Love Live Squaddo Festival scouting video, because I haven't been buying gems and there hasn't really been a set I've been super interested in, so I haven't been scouting. So I'll see if I ever do. But see you guys in the next one. Have an amazing day. Bye.